My name is Andrew Coate, and I serve here as the Director of Religious Education. I use he, him pronouns. Today, we are going to acknowledge milestones. We are going to acknowledge mile markers, bridges crossed, and potentially confusing signage. It is a metaphor, and I went with it, folks. We're also going to thank one another for making the work of this congregation happen every week downstairs. So we have all of these amazing people who do so much for our congregation. We have our tech team, we have people who do social hours, but we also have these folks who every week are helping out downstairs, and we are going to bring some of that energy upstairs. We will sing. We will engage in some minor crafting. Yeah. We will celebrate ourselves along with one another. And we will also have a time for joys and sorrows today. Right now, our COVID numbers are low, and so masks are optional in the sanctuary. Please reserve the balcony for those who are choosing to wear masks, though you are, of course, welcome to sit anywhere wearing a mask. And today, after we do our preschoolers and our young adult bridging, the kids who are in preschool are going to be welcome to head downstairs with JC and Hayden. And I'm going to ask all of the other kids to stay up because you all are also getting acknowledged. And with that, I call us to worship this morning with these words by Sharon Wiley. We speak so often of the brokenness in religious life. Let us speak today of wholeness. You are welcome here, all of you, every part of you beautiful just the way you are. Here, you do not need to be something more or something less. No holding back, no hiding, no exerting yourself, no trying to do more or be more. You have inherent worth and dignity. Nothing to prove here, nothing to prove to me, or the person sitting next to you, or the children, or the adults. You don't have to be witty, or more quiet, or more outgoing. You are beautiful, every part of you beautiful just the way you are. And you don't need to change anything about yourself to be welcome here. Your skin, your hair, your belly, your limbs, your face, all beautiful. You are extraordinary. Each and every one of you different, and each and every one of you beautiful in your own way. Breathtaking. Let us worship together. Are there any kids here who would like to come forward and do our religious education chalice lighting? Yeah. All right. I'm going to invite the congregation to say it and do the hand motions, which the kids will very happily lead for you. All right, so we are Unitarian Universalists. Keep going. With loving minds, loving hearts, helping hands, and the glow of generosity. Thank you. All right, I'm going to invite everyone to rise as you are willing and able, and join us in singing our first hymn this morning, This Little Light of Mine. It's number 118 in your gray hymnal.
This little light of mine.
So we had originally had this plan about a reverse time for all ages, and we were going to make all of the parents put their hands into a box with some potentially gross things. And there was this whole thing about live animals and spaghetti, and it went a little off the rails. So I don't think we prepared anything. Did we, Maya? No? Okay, great. Maya may have been one of the minds behind some of that. So I am going to ask any kids who would like to come forward to come on up for some time for all ages. Interesting. There's so many more of you than usual. So, I have a challenge for you. Today we are talking about bridges. And one thing bridges do, hello Adar. One thing bridges do is they cross from one place to another. But they also, very importantly, need to be strong. They need to hold things up. So, your challenge is to build a bridge that goes, now, the bridge needs to go, span the gap between two hymnals, and they can't be like that close, all right? There'll be a few inches apart. And they have to be able to hold up at least one starburst and one Hershey nugget thing. All right?
Wait, what are they building up?
You ready? One piece of paper. No tape, no popsicle sticks. One sheet of paper. You can fold it however you like. You're gonna make a bridge. Who has a couple hymnals? Someone give me a couple hymnals. There's one.
You can't have this one.
Can I just use it to show? All right. So, you all have a sheet of paper because you all have an order of worship that you've already colored. We have extras. You need to have the books, a few inches apart, and you need to make a bridge that can hold up one chocolate and one starburst. I am going to maybe entrust Yael with some candy distribution. All right, so if you want another order of worship to use as your bridge, we'll get you one. So you can head back. I would recommend just heading to the very back. And then after your bridge supports your candy, you can eat it. You're gonna do it. No, you're making your own bridge. All right. I guess maybe you'll have to do some negotiating with Yael. We're going to let that get settled down for just a minute. And while that is settling, I'm going to invite JC up. Where is our mic? Okay, well, I guess you're using this. All right.
It does.
Oh. Okay. So, for those of you who might not know, I don't know how you wouldn't, JC has been running our preschool religious education program here for
14 years.
14 years, meaning that JC knew Hayden when Hayden was in preschool religious education.
Yeah. Oh,
And
thank
we have a mic.
you.
And so JC is going to talk just a little bit today about what the preschool religious education program does, what the kids have learned this year, and then we will name our 2 preschool bridgers, but one is not here and one is not ready to come forward.
Yeah, that's okay. Oh, is it on?
What color is it?
It's green. Yeah. All right. Oh, yep, here we go. All right. So, hi. I'm only up in this part of this church one time a year, so hi, everyone. Hi. But it's always nice to see everybody. The preschool program, I always think of it as the foundation. We start learning really important things really early on about the 8 principles, not the 7. So all this year, we have been learning just that. We've been learning about being kind. We've been learning about everyone being important and learning together, having a voice, all the things that you need to have before the next steps, which is Andrew's classroom. Very, very important things. Also that, snack is king. Snacks are always really, as you can see back there. Yeah. And if you really want to have a good time, I have a stuffed snake that's apparently the most important stuffed animal in my room. The 2 children that are leaving me, sadly, but not, I can still see them. They're going to Andrew, are Julian Rosehill. She is here today. Julian, if you want to just wave somewhere back there. and Alfred Sterling, who is not here. But if we could just give them a round of applause for working very hard. Thank you. Because I do think, it looks fun, but these kids work very hard every day.
And so we have our preschool bridgers, and we have our preschool education. And then at the other side of that religious education journey of childhood, of youth, we have those who are bridging out of our youth religious education programming. And so today, Hayden, I told you I would give you verbal instructions. Do you want to head back to the bridge?
If they successfully completed, can they eat their candy?
Yes. I was not going to saddle you guys with having to prevent all of those children from eating any of that candy. So today, Hayden, who has been a member of this congregation, or been present in this congregation for his whole life, most of his life, Hayden is going to be bridging from youth to young adulthood, which is a particular thing in Unitarian Universalism. Every year at our General Assembly, there is a huge bridging worship called Synergy, where the youth from all over the country bridge from youth to young adulthood. They go from that youth caucus group and they come and join the young adults. And in sanctuaries and congregations across the country, this morning and next week, there are bridging ceremonies happening all over the place. And so Hayden, for the last time, why don't you join all of the kids to ask any young adults, and in Unitarian Universalism, a young adult is anyone from 18 to 35. So do not be shy. If you are 18 to 35, I would love you to come and join us up front here. All right. And I would like all of our kids to give Hayden a very loud send-off. You can clap, you can stomp, maybe not too much shrieking. And Hayden, why don't you come forward? Hayden, it has been an absolute privilege to have you in the nursery and preschool this year, watching you engage with the kids and plan out projects and really dive deep into some of those sensory materials. One thing you might not know is the amount of shaving cream that is used in religious education programming, especially the younger ones. And so I have loved seeing that. And then also the discussions that JC and I have in the mornings where we just recount our weeks and Hayden just sits there and just takes it all in has been a lot of fun. We are so lucky to have had you both in this congregation, but especially downstairs. Hayden announced that he wanted to be the preschool assistant when he was in religious education classes. And this was brought up to me many times in my first year. And as soon as we realized that Hayden was still interested, we were thrilled. And so here, Hayden, you get to hold this up. We have this very fancy shirt that has been signed by many in our religious education classes, many parents, students, and so I know Hayden will wear this often out in the world, proudly proclaiming his Unitarian Universalist faith. Hayden, I do have a meditation manual for you. It's in my office, so you can either go in and get it. I'll give it to you later. I meant to bring it up. And I just want to have one more round of applause for Hayden. And now, I am going to ask any of the preschool and nursery kids who would like to head downstairs with JC and Hayden, because Hayden does get to work on his day of bridging, to head downstairs, and the congregation is going to sing our hymn of the month, called There's a River Flowing in My Soul. So, could we go to the next slide? I am curious if anyone knows what this is. You can just shout it out. Does anyone have a more specific answer? It's the Da Vinci Bridge. This is a bridge that Leonardo da Vinci designed, and many, many people have replicated. This bridge is held together entirely by friction. So there are no fasteners, there's no glue, there's no rope. It is just friction. It doesn't look that hard. There are a lot of step-by-step instructions out there. There are videos that you can follow along with on YouTube. There are even videos that go at like 1/4 speed and pause frequently. And I have never successfully built a Da Vinci Bridge, including on Thursday night when I was writing this, thinking I should really try again, because this can't be that hard. There is something about the Da Vinci Bridge that just does not work with my brain. However, I bet some of you would find it pretty easy. So if you're interested, after we do our junior youth bridging, I would love to see some of you try to build a Da Vinci Bridge. You can just wing it. You can look up instructions on a phone. You can take the popsicle sticks home and then have your parents send me a picture. If you get a successful Da Vinci Bridge, I do want to see it. So why am I talking about Da Vinci Bridges? Mostly it's because that's what I think of when I think of bridges. And it infuriates me. However, you all know that I love a good metaphor. And I think this is a pretty great metaphor for growing up and moving through life. Some things look or sound really easy. Just don't hit your brother, right? You would think all the kid has to do is not hit their brother, or just do your homework. But for some folks, those things can be just as hard as just do differential calculus. I am only 80% sure that differential calculus is even a thing. Is it? Yeah, okay, great. I did not major in math. Growing up can be great. You get more privileges, more chances to learn and choose what you learn. But that can also be scary. When you're sitting there thinking, I have to pick my classes in high school, what if I pick the wrong thing? Things can seem like huge decisions, and it can seem like there are these huge decisions at every step along the way. Things can seem deceptively simple, and then they turn out to be so much more difficult when you are already committed. I'm wondering if anyone here has had that experience. Like 4 of you, wow. So today we are celebrating that growing and that moving and that changing. And we are committing to holding one another through all of the things, through the good and the hard and the sad and the exciting. Like I said, I really like the metaphor of bridging. But it does imply that there are these predetermined times when things change, when you go from A to B. And so that is why I also have an affinity for ye old mile markers, which has been our image during this service. Has anyone seen mile markers, like historic stone ones? Yeah, these things were arbitrary. It was not a standardized, we put these every 5 miles. It was 8 miles to Boston, or 121 miles to London, or 42.5 miles from New York. Now, there's a part of me that does not appreciate that level of chaos. But I do like marking milestones where you see fit. So maybe you didn't graduate or bridge or retire or hit a notable birthday this year, but it has still been a year for you that needs acknowledgement. In a bit, I am going to invite a few of our students forward who have reached a milestone that we have set in this congregation. They are moving to a new class from our elementary program to our junior youth program. We bridged Hayden from youth to young adulthood. We bridged our preschoolers into our elementary class. But I want to put it out to everyone in this congregation that if this has been a year of a major milestone for you, whatever that means to you, if you think, I need to mark this year for myself, if you send me an email, then I will bring you one of the chalice necklaces that we are also giving to our bridgers today. All of the milestones matter, whether that is 0 miles to graduation or 12.68 kilometers from your 42nd birthday. And so before I invite our youth bridging to junior youth group, I would like to give you a quote from Mr. Fred Rogers. You don't ever have to do anything sensational in order to love or be loved. The real drama of life, that which matters most, is rarely center stage or in the spotlight. In fact, it has nothing to do with IQs and honors and the fancy outsides of life. What really nourishes our souls is the knowing that we can be trusted, that we never have to fear the truth. The foundation of our very being is good stuff. So, we're doing things a little wonky today, but I would like to invite anyone who is currently in our junior youth program. So I think that might just be Jack right now. Oh, and yes, so Jack and Liren, if you guys would like to come on up. So Jack and Liren have been in our junior youth program this whole year. This was our first year. Mostly it was about donuts. Yeah. Board games. Some very intense crafting during our Solstice Badger pageant. And just a lot of getting to know each other, of forming community, of forming this new community after COVID. And so, hanging from that box of flowers, there are some necklaces. Would one of you grab those? And so last year, we had our first crew sort of bridge into this junior youth program that was new for this congregation. And now that we're doing it twice, it's tradition. And so I know we have at least a couple, anyone who is bridging into junior youth, so anyone who is entering 5th grade or 5th grade or 6th grade, if you want to come ahead forward. So today we are also recognizing Laszlo, who is not able to be here today. Laszlo has been in our junior youth program all year, but is entering 6th grade. You're entering 7th? Okay. Oh my gosh. Jack is entering 8th grade, y'all. Liren is also entering 6th grade. So I would like to have Jack hand these out to these other 3. Jack, you can also have one if you want. And I'm going to tell you a little bit about some of these amazing kids. So Liren joined our program this year, and Liren has been a force to be reckoned with. Liren has opinions and ideas, and we are so lucky to have Liren in our program. Liren, what school are you? Are you staying in the same school? Is that what you said? So Liren is entering 6th grade, which was supposed to move to the middle school, but apparently is staying in the same building. Farron, I have only met Farron recently, but this one is good at problem solving. Farron, I'm so sorry. Farron is good at problem solving. We have only hung out a little bit, but as soon as Farron showed up, I said, you know what? I think you need to head to junior youth group because even though you are a little younger than everyone, you're ready. And Maya. Maya, I feel like, is one of my original kids because she was one who was here when I started here. Maya, I don't want to let you go to junior youth group because Maya has intense big sister energy. Maya will get an entire group of kids focused, back on track, still having fun, but working toward a goal. Maya can get her younger brother and anyone else younger than her in that room to do pretty much what she wants and make them think that it was their idea. And I am very much going to miss having my assistant teacher in that class. However, Maya, you are also very ready to head on to the junior youth group. And so next year, we are going to be working on some coming of age type things. We are kind of slow rolling coming of age, but there will also still be donuts. There will still be board games. There will still be a lot of fun and maybe some field trips. We're in the works. And so I would like everyone to just give all of this crew a round of applause for all that they have learned and all that they have yet to learn. You can head back and join your cohorts if you like. Oh, does anyone want to do a Da Vinci Bridge, actually? Here you go, Jack. take the whole bag. So, I was talking to a few of you about this earlier. Blue Boat Home is a UU institution. Many years ago, when I was on staff at General Assembly, one of my friends made the joke that Blue Boat Home was very similar to Freebird. In that, as soon as you're in a space with a lot of UUs and you learn you're singing Blue Boat Home, everyone gets all excited. If there's a call to recommend songs, Blue Boat Home is almost always there. People have deep emotions and feelings tied to this song. And every year at that Synergy worship, we sing Blue Boat Home. And so I am going to invite the congregation to rise as you are able and join us in singing the Freebird of Unitarian Universalism, Blue Boat Home, number 1064 in your teal hymnal. So one thing that it feels important to say and say again is that milestones do not stop when you turn 18. And so I put a call out a couple of weeks ago for anyone in the congregation who feels that they have had a milestone this year. Maybe that's graduating from college. Maybe you got your PhD. Maybe you retired. Maybe you got tenure. And so I got a couple of responses, but I would like to ask anyone who is here who that applies to today, if you'd be willing to come forward. So I'm going to say, originally, I was going to make Linda talk during bridging because I'm assuming it's the one you talked about, right? Yeah. So Linda, I was going to have talk to Hayden because Linda just is attending or just attended?
I will be next week.
Next week is attending her 55th high school reunion. And when I was in high school, I never thought about what it was going to look like 5 years post-high school, much less 55 years. So originally, I was going to have Linda come and talk to Hayden, and then I had some parents who begged me to please make the beginning as short as possible so we could get the preschoolers downstairs. And so Linda, do you want to say anything more about that? Okay. I am going to hand the mic over, and if you want to just share a couple of words about what your milestone is.
My milestone was just spoken for me.
Right. Oh my gosh. Okay, my milestone is that I celebrated 1 year of being back here in the Valley and living on my own again. I'm going through some very challenging things in my life, and I didn't ever think that was possible. So I'm really proud of myself for that.
6 weeks ago, I became a grandmother, so that was a big move for me.
Ours is a joint one. In 2020, at the beginning of COVID, I guess a joint decision was made that when we were able to, we would move back to the States, and 2023 was that year. So.
And I have to add that the Blue Boat Home really applies because we took the Queen Mary too, or the Queen Victoria.
You took the Queen, yes. Yeah.
Queen, and I sailed back home.
I turned 50 and joined a choir after several decades of not having been singing.
This year, I joined the UUSA after 70 years of never being part of a spiritual community, and it's been wonderful.
This year, I got full professor.
I didn't know that.
This year, I turned 80 and decided that it was time for me to become more present.
This year I turned 75.
I'm about 3 weeks from finishing my first year of teaching.
Nice. All right, so let's give a round of applause. You were all very tolerant. You can head back to your seats. I have learned not to tell people that there will be microphones involved. I do also want to acknowledge, I believe Ed Tick is not here, but Ed Tick did also celebrate a milestone with some of his work in publishing. Is it working? No. I told you, it looks really easy. So the other members of our religious education ministry team are Gwen Ullman and Annie Sexauer and Sophie. Some of them are here. And so this team really has held me and helped guide me and given me so much in terms of support and suggestions and saying, let's stop talking about it and just do it, which is how we ended up with a junior youth group program this year, as opposed to Rachel and I planning for maybe next year. And Ashley was like, no, we'll just clean out that room and do it. It's fine. And it's been great. Ashley has also been downstairs a lot with that junior youth group, as has Annie. So oh, Annie, come on over. You're up. These two have been running our junior youth group program this year. And so the amount of thanks I have is not, one potted plant is not sufficient, but I do want to thank you both for that. And then I'm going to make you stay up here. So can two of you bring a plant over and give one to each of them? And I'm going to ask you to stay up here, and I am going to call out some additional names. If you happen to be here, feel free to, please do come forward. All right, Robin, I'm not going to make you come forward even though you've done stuff with RE, because I already made you walk forward once. All right, so we have Ashley, Carter, Gwen, and Sophie are not here. Yael. That was an epic eye roll. It was good. Okay, and as people come up, if you want to hand them a flower, that'd be great. Jenny. Is Jess here? Jess Rocheleau? No. Michelle. Michelle was so game as a newer person in the congregation in helping with Solstice Badger and stuff. Is Maura? Maura's not here. Allison. Susan Rice. Melissa O'Connor. Downstairs. Volunteering with RE. And so this crew of volunteers has made such a difference in the ability to run our program, whether we need someone to go to CVS and buy urgent Halloween candy or help lead a lesson on fencing, which we did at the beginning of the year. I especially want to call out Allison and the IL as my texting crew, who I know that I can just say, like, how are we doing this? And get a snarky but accurate response within minutes. Having people who are also glued to their phones as much as me has been really useful in getting through, especially the last few months of everything. With the sabbatical and services and all of that. So, I have one more thing. I know that you're all sitting there looking up here and thinking, how do I get to be there? It's so easy. Send me an email. You fill out a simple form, and then I tell you when you get to miss service and come downstairs. You could even look ahead at the schedule and be like, oh, I do not want to hear about gratitude right now. And you could plan on being downstairs that day. And so with that, I would like everyone to give all of these folks a round of applause. Changes abound around us, within us, between us, in our communities, our neighborhoods, and our beloved congregation. Changes abound. May we each find the balance point we need as we move through our ever-changing world. The balance between old and new, known and unknown, familiar and the perhaps bold and risky possibilities that may be there, waiting. Go in peace and go in love.
Can I have your love?